Well, hello, Slow, and welcome to Cage to Metal. Thank you very much for being here today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, man. That's good to hear. This is actually sort of the first international act I've ever had on my show, so this is pretty special, and I finally get to ask a question which I've never been able to ask before. How have things been for you in Australia so far?
So far, it's been great. It's always great every time we come here. This is actually one of my favorite places in the world to visit and to play, so I'm really excited to be here once again. I'm always excited to hit the casinos here, but last night I was so out of gas, I fell asleep, and the next thing you know, it was like 13 hours later. So, yeah, I got a good long sleep, so I'm all caught up now, so we're ready to rage.
Yeah, I was going to say that I caught you guys when you came out last time for Soundwave, and that was about 18 months ago. So can you tell us a bit about what's been happening in the past 18 months with Unearth?
Geez. Well, we've been doing a lot of touring overseas in Europe. We've done a few tours at home in the U.S., the most recent one was a headlining tour for us for the Atticus 2 metal tour, and before that we were support for Hatebreed and Cannibal Corpse in the U.S. and North America, Canada as well. We just keep going, Been doing a lot of touring. Like you said, we did Soundwave about 18 months ago. Was it even that long? Was it? No, it was like, yeah, it was about that. Yeah. It was like February or something like last year. Yeah. Yeah, so we've just been going, taking some time off here and there at home to visit with our families and stuff, but for the most part, keeping it simple and getting on the road.
And one other thing I noticed is you guys were actually sort of, you end up getting a track released in Guitar Hero World Tour, so, what's it like knowing your music's going to be immortalized in a video game forever?
I don't even know, man. As a bass player, I'm like, yay, all right, cool, As a guitar player, I'm sure the other guys are a little more excited than I am because, I'm just excited about being anywhere and drinking and meeting new people and hanging out. So, I mean, that's where the real excitement lies for me. But I think it's awesome that, my little nephews and stuff are probably playing the video game and, their Uncle Slow's good, music is on the game. So that's pretty cool. That's exciting for me to see. So I'm pretty stoked on that.
And I watched that video you guys released where you guys are actually playing the game in the video. So does that mean you guys are into the game yourself? And, can you play your own song in the game?
I'm terrible at the game. In fact, I don't even play video games because I have a very addictive personality. So when I first started playing that game, you couldn't pull me away from it for 3 days. So, and I wasn't sleeping or anything. So I was like, man, I got to quit this. So I need to go hang out and do what dudes do on tour. Hang out with the boys, have some beers, meet some people. And I can't be playing video games my whole life. So I just don't even play them. I stay away from them as much as I can.
It's a shame. I must admit I enjoy quite a good gaming session myself. Often runs into 2 a.m. or something like that.
I love it, and that's the problem. So love it too much.
And one thing that always interests me as well is that you often hear fans of, bands, when bands release their music in Guitar Hero, you get these hardcore fans who get really riled and say, oh, the band's sold out or something like that, or they're annoyed that people discover the band through Guitar Hero. How do you feel about this kind of thing?
You know what? I never... prided myself on being an elitist like that. I don't understand. I'm 32 years old now. I've been doing this for a long time, and I did it because I love it, and I still do it because I love it. And in order for me to keep loving it, I need to make enough money to get by in my life and pay my bills and, do stuff that 32-year-old men do. But, I don't understand all the logic behind that. And I think that, that mentality most people end up growing out of in the long run because it just doesn't make any sense. We're a heavy metal band. I don't know if anyone ever really listened to us, then they know that we did not sell out. So we're a heavy metal band. We play some heavy shit.
So you're totally cool with people discovering your music through mediums like that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all there for. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have discovered this type of heavy metal if I didn't have avenues to discover it for. You know what I mean? I came from small towns and stuff where, if I didn't have friends that, were looking for stuff online and doing whatever they did at the time, then I wouldn't have discovered it either. So, of course, I'm going to respect all the avenues that branch out and get our stuff out there. It's awesome. I think it's great.
All right, awesome. Well, enough about video games. I think we've spoken about all those quite enough now. And let's move on to the March now because it's been out for about a year and a half. So how have audiences all over the world been responding to it?
It's been really great, actually. We felt that this was our best best album to date, and that's been the reaction around the globe. It was very well received in Europe and Australia, Japan. Japan did very, very well. Canada. The U.S. is always a crazy market. You never know who likes what at the time, but we've been able to maintain our presence in the U.S. and do very well, and the album was well received, so I have no complaints. I thought it was a great cycle.
That's good to hear, man. And how do you guys, like, looking back on the past 18 months now, are you pleased with how you took it from the studio onto the live stage and the transmission from the studio to the live stage?
Actually, I think that the songs that we play off of this newest album translate better live than any other songs we wrote before that. I think that we kind of haphazardly kept that in mind subconsciously. I think the songs translate very well live to stage. Yeah.
And like I said before, I caught you guys back in 2009 at the Soundwave gig, and you really have high energy shows and sort of really work to get the crowd going in these gigs. Is this reflected in all your live shows, or was that just something you do at festivals and outdoor gigs? What's the go there?
We like to bring it as hard as we can at every show. From the small shows to the big shows, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you what, the worst thing that you can do to us is put us on really, really late. Like the other night, we were on at like 11:30, 11:45, and I think Ken said it best. We were starting to turn into pumpkins. We like, obviously going on earlier, anytime between 8 and 10, because we're just getting the drink in us and everything's flowing right, and we got the energy, and that's when we're at our best, I think. You put us on ice too long, and then we go out there and we're frigid, But no, we try to bring it as hard as we can at every show, because we really respect that if people are going to pay to come see us, then we got to give them what they came for,
Yeah, and plus it does give you a bit more time to hit the casinos after the gig as well, which is always
exactly.
And when I did see you, it was outdoors and it was during the day, so it didn't give you much of an opportunity to play with lighting and all that kind of stuff. And you did mention you like to play a bit early in the night, but will these nighttime indoor gigs that we're seeing over this week in Australia and wherever you play in the world, do they differ from the daytime outdoor shows, and if so, in what way?
Oh, absolutely. You're talking about a more intimate setting. Everyone's closed in a building, or a smaller room, and we get the lights going, and everything's gonna sound louder because you're in an enclosure. It's a totally different vibe. Absolutely. We had to learn how to translate, our music live on a big stage during the day, when the sun's right in your eyes, and you're sweating your ass off and trying to recover from last night's hangover, So we had to figure out how to do that, and we did that over the years, playing all the Ozfest tours and things like that we did in the past. We always will have a love for the small club shows, because really that's where it's at. I think that's where you really grab a listener and bring them in.